Bonobo. Hello. Nice to be here. Thank you so much for being part of this celebration of Broken Sleep Books, and I want to thank Aaron and the team at BSB for publishing my new book, The Great Apes. It is my 11th book, and it is published right now, exactly 10 years after my first collection. The Great Apes is made up of 5 sequences, each themed around an ape, but really each being a satire of an element of human delusional behaviour, with each ape, including humans after bonobo, orangutan, chimp and gorilla, representing something, us being able, supposedly, to overcome our nature in terms of carnal desire, violence, avariciousness and so forth. So I'm going to read now one sequence from this satirical experimental poetry collection made up of 5 sequences. Thanks again to Aaron and Co for publishing. Just do a little juicy 10-minute reading from the sequence entitled Orangutan, which is about, I suppose, human delusion around intellectualism, Socratic pretense, the ideas that people think they can learn their way out of the difficulties of existence. I'm being general and silly. Whatever. Orangutan. Youth waste. It is sharp. But living is too short to be wide. But how did you learn to be so sick? Says the invested higher being, ape, the magnificent orango, the learned tang. You have named all, well, like old Jewish books that have been unmemorized, like travellers we love in the mind but not in person. They tell us how to end this horrible nightmare and force us into an improved submission, where we learn to accept the providence that eats the other stuff as metaphor for funny, naff distractions. For no orangutan ever put their hand up to offer an opinion, and no orangutan claimed, sought, beckoned, beasted. It sits with a base so firm one would not move to attempt life unlived. When it is, you might as well stay because you won't eventually be able to. Smile. The big boy is overhead all apart from love. Orangutan won't fight, say what you like. It won't be had. A wingspan stands before insult, though orangutan whispers to his followers, monkeys, dogs, frogs, and even respected by chimp, gorilla, bonobo. The insult is the human's best invention, and has a right laugh. But the other animals don't understand, for mystery lies within the parasites. It's why Orangu will swallow us, a brown-eyed clarity that shapes wings to organize, and this has always been the truth, what you seek. Deforestation as metaphor for death itself. The kind of creature who invents the words confused for the sensation of being stumped rather than confused. What is the difference between that which invents the word, that is the feeling, and that which feels the feeling? A big translation. The orangutan over you. A big distance happier than before, a big core not rubbing it in, a big sore right on the mind, a big red crown of youth, a big red voice of reason, a big red crop of rubber, a big red diamond lost on, a yellow beach, a big red fresh fruit, a big red spoiled brat done good like Buddha, a big red not every twat saying they're out of time, a big red love without loss, a big red beauty is the promise of happiness, a big red repetition that is new, a big red guide, translated into German, but not. A big red understanding after soaked experience, a big red keeping it to itself steeped in books, a big red onion antimone, oh professor, and at the bare feet of Orangit are sat all most other apes. Here is the summer respectable and deservedly praised. Here is a bookmaker for the faithful. One can hardly imagine in what diversity a Homo sapien can develop their corruptions, Oran says. All they need is a dishonest animal in crimes who can set down in aspect those things. When the fancy is aflamed, however grand its variability, in all of the desires, it is greater here, in the aberrations of this way. Shall we division between that which is fictional and that which is done? Orangutan holds his eyes covered. The howler monkey screams, "It's not real!" Orangi nods gently. "We had a good time, didn't we?" Every other being nods back. Demanding in the bedroom, dull in the living room. Welcome to Earth. We had a decent run, did we not? Separate love from sex because of time aging. Human concept. infers the eyebrows of the orange divinity, deity, as much as well might be. Otang says, "Come on, Desard was no more a moiderer than he was a coprophile or coprophage. It would probable, in fact, be true to say, with carbon gas, to be a trink. He preserved his sanity and succeeded in resisting his murderous impulses, by abreacting them through projection upon imaginary villains." And here everyone laughed. Everyone, after all, says the big O. Did not Goethe say, "Nihil humani a me alienum puto"? Say what, says a golden tamarind. Forsake, there is no crime of which I do not feel myself capable. Oh yeah, cover version. Sure, says the orange, and begins nibbing. Every inch the ape priestess, every inch the healing blanket, every inch the good bet, every inch the panic room, brain damage, CTE deconnecting, every inch, everyone's dreams are the same, every inch unspecial individuation, every inch the hirsute harmonious, every inch the tetragrammaton, every inch the not advertising, every inch the antkeeper, every inch the Fermi's Harismagistus, every inch the orange Hashem, every inch the placeholder for vowel, every inch patristic apocrypha, every inch knowing you're in the comment section when you scroll and see a bunch of comments, every inch the sweat patch yeti, every inch your best friend you never let you down, every inch non-addictive drugs, every inch a mobile network operator, every inch occurring between red and yellow in the visible spectrum, every inch the not thinking beyond anything, only ever undone by love, one weakness, by the co-conspirator of bloods, wallet-sized pains of longings. Lips harden to warn orangutan, but not even with this one, red ape, a rude fiancé. There will be no more new ideas. So unjustly beautiful seeming stepped from pages, rearranging all orangutan's body chemicals as endocrine glands going stuttering pituitary, often getting out of weight's way. Such beauty often hardens trying up what is being done, whatever deadlift, the callousness of the double helix, the impressions with no hope of smelling sheets, sects of misted cocaine in ventilation of clarity. How does the world become traversed with protection, without muscle? There cannot be nostalgia when you orangutans. The animal house of friends gathers to listen, imagine, with ears, and orangutan speakers. If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. And he speaks some more. No special significance should be attached to the name. A disagreeable sensation in the pit of the stomach is not entitled to be taken for compassion. Never be born or die in hospital. One is no longer capable of something that one used to be capable of. All cultural senses were bad at maths in school. Younger people have always noticed moral stupidity in everyone but themselves. By the time we reach years of fulfillment, we have forgotten all about it and far from wishing to be reminded of it. Old moral notions, simply unendurable, come back. A slippery creature has tried to overwhelm in sleep, a belly soft, tender. There is no example of inevitability that can compare with the sight of a gifted youth narrowing down into an ordinary elder. An artist of real integrity must abstain from creation altogether. The long and the short of it is, there is no important idea that stupidity does not know how to make use of. Something one craves for just as naturally as one craves for bread or water is, after a time, unnatural. One hears it laughing, turns around swiftly and looks into a face that is round and unmoving as a hole in the ground where a mouse has just disappeared. If mankind could dream collectively, it would dream manslaughter. Stupidly profound, exciting sensation, touching immediately on the self, that one had when sniffing at one's own skin. Tremendous energy into doing the very unnecessary. This could be said about all of us today. There is another country where one is at home, where everything one does is innocent. Alright, that'll do. There is more to the orangutan and to the book. maybe get one if you like. That would be nice of you. Thanks again for listening. Bye-bye.